All right, so today we are making a slow cooker meal. This is a vegetable beef soup, and you can kind of customize it however you want as far as like what kind of vegetables you put in, but I'm gonna go through what I do. So first of all, we use a beef pot roast cut into bite-sized pieces or slightly bigger than bite-sized pieces. I have about 3 red potatoes. You could do 2 cups frozen hash browns. You could do 2 medium Idaho potatoes or golden Yukons, whatever potatoes you have laying around. 1 garlic clove. You could also use powdered garlic or minced garlic. 1 packet of onion soup mix. A can of diced tomatoes, not seasoned. A bag of frozen veggies. I like the vegetable soup mix that has okra and some other veggies that we won't normally eat. That's in there. And then it's not quite 2 cups, so I grabbed an open bag of frozen peas and an open bag of frozen corn to kind of make up the difference. We're gonna use some beef bouillon. Mine's cubes, but you can use just the granules. And black pepper. And then we're also gonna add some water. So you can, instead of water, use beef broth. Instead of pot roast, you could use stew meat. And then you can kind of skip the step of cutting it. It's about 1 pound of meat. I think this is a pound and a half. You could use, I've not tried it, but you could probably use a pork roast instead of the beef if you prefer pork to beef. I'm not a big fan of chicken in this kind of meal, so I probably wouldn't switch the meat over to chicken. And then again, you can do your veggies however you want. It says frozen veggies, but you probably could just do all fresh veggies. I considered grabbing a couple ribs of celery and chopping it up and adding it because I've got it, but I decided against it. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cook our meat. Yes, you have to pre-cook it. So I come over here on my cast iron skillet, which I did not preheat, so sorry guys. I'm gonna pour just a little bit of oil in there. That's probably a tablespoon worth. My cabinet is very full. Okay, and I'm just gonna kind of tilt and swirl my pan around to get that oil covering the whole surface of the bottom of the pan.
See you in the reflection.
Can you? That's a little creepy. Okay, and I'm gonna throw my meat in. And I'm going to use this spatula for this. No particular reason. It's new and I like it. That's really the reason. You could use any spatula. Meanwhile, I'm gonna start tossing the rest of my ingredients into the crock pot. So first things first is the 4 cups of water. Like I said, you could substitute beef broth if you wanted more of a beefy flavor. If you do that, I would do the low sodium or the no sodium beef broth, because otherwise it's going to end up really salty. Okay. And if you do that, you could also probably eliminate the beef bouillon. My crock pot is on low. I'm gonna add 1 bouillon cube. Comes wrapped in a pretty little red wrapper, like a baby Christmas present. I don't know why they do that. I guess to keep it in cube form.
I don't know. It is the most basic sort of thing you can get, and it's kind of hard to bust apart.
Sometimes. They're usually easy.
I found that there's actually a lot of selection that that's out there. So if you want to feel like a fancy cook, I would encourage you to just see what options are out there.
I like the granules are my favorite. I prefer granules to cubes, and I prefer granules to powder, but all of them are options. Okay, I'm gonna add my onion soup mix. These come 2 packets to a box, so you're just using the 1 packet. Throwing that in the water. And then we're gonna press our garlic in there. 1 garlic clove. Now, if you don't have a garlic press, you can use minced garlic. Oof, this one's taking a lot of muscles. Yeah, but you can use the dried minced garlic, or you can use garlic powder. It's not going to taste as fresh as the pressed garlic does. And then I'm going to wash my hands because garlic is sticky and the smell sticks to your fingers too.
All right, you do that.
So far we have, oh, go ahead.
I'm going to go ahead and take a peek. So it's up to you where it started sizzling.
Yep, I'm going to just let it sit.
Cool.
Okay, so we've got our water and our beef and our beef bouillon and our onion soup and our garlic. And now just some pepper. I'm not measuring it, just adding it. However much you think is good for you, that's how much you should use. I'm going to open my can of diced tomatoes. You're going to pour the whole can in, don't drain it. Keep those juices in there.
And not to make people dizzy with the spinning around.
Yeah, sorry, I go back and forth across my kitchen a lot.
You know, our old kitchen back in Missouri, there was no way we could use it for this purpose because it was just an inlet.
Like, I had this much space.
Yeah.
That was what I had to cook in.
But
It was a nice kitchen because everything was all right there.
it was a one-person kitchen, though.
Okay, so I'm going to measure this to get the 2 cups.
I'd say a one-cook kitchen.
Oh, maybe that is 2 cups.
Yeah.
I didn't think 12 ounces was 2 cups, but I guess 12 ounces is the weight, not necessarily the cups.
Volume. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Okay, so.
So there's the ounces for weight versus cups for volume.
Yeah. That's okay. We're going to use the whole bag. And that way I don't have to throw in anything extra.
All right. Is that going to start freezing the water? I don't know.
No, it'll be fine. And then my diced potato. Now, you can choose to peel. I hate peeling. I think it's an unnecessary step because the peeling is tasty, and I don't think it's necessary to peel.
I think it's nutritious, too.
I think it's supposed to be. I don't know. If you are anti eating the peeling, then go ahead and peel. It's really fine. I just don't like to. All right, now I'm going to give this a good stir. The point is not to cook this through, it's just to brown it on all sides.
Oh, searing, right? That's the word?
Um,
I think I've heard it. If you brown it on each side, you sear it and you seal in the moisture.
I guess so.
It's where you get like nice pink on the inside and you keep the moisture on the inside.
Yeah, but it's going to cook all the way through in the crock pot throughout the day. This is an 8-hour crock pot meal, so it's one you have to start in the morning. You cannot put it off until later.
It's
Now,
usually 8 a.m. for us, so yes.
I'm going to use a good slotted spoon to stir up and mix everything in the crock pot, just so that the liquid will move through the spoon. For serving, I will use my ladle, so we get good cupfuls of soup. So those are the utensils I'm kind of using today.
That's helpful, thank you.
Yeah. I have a blog post that will come out in a couple of weeks about kitchen tools you really have to have. And if you could only have one stirring type tool, it's a slotted spoon that you need. Because it will work as a serving spoon. You can use other things to act as a ladle if you need to get liquids out. And it'll easily replace a spatula if you don't have one. So if you really can only afford the one kitchen tool, it needs to be a slotted spoon, in my humble opinion. I'm kind of excited about that blog post. I don't remember when I scheduled it to come out. But when it does come out, it has all the really cool gadgets that I live and breathe by. Everything that I need to function well in my kitchen. I did not include links. I should probably go back and add links so that people can purchase them if they want to. this is almost done. And so once this is done, you have two options. You can drain this and then pour the meat into your crock pot, or you can go by spoonfuls and drain out the liquid that way. And that's what I'm going to do.
Because however minimal there is, what it's cooking in is fat. I mean, the vegetable fat that you poured in, which is the canola oil, but then whatever comes out of the meat, be it minimal, because this is quite a low fat steak sort of meat, or roast sort of meat, but still, it is, and it does make a difference in the diet of a person.
So, and we're watching our saturated fats because my husband has high cholesterol. So I'm going to take this over. I probably don't need to have the pot holder. It's not super hot. It didn't cook that long. But just for safety's sake, we're going to use the pot holder. And I'm going to set it down on a hot pad over here. And then gradually just kind of shake off some of that grease and drop it in. Drop the meat in, not the grease.
And I noticed you didn't stir the crock pot.
Nope, I'm going to do that after I get all the meat added.
Yeah.
You can stir it all up whenever you want. You could stir it up 100 times if you really wanted to.
Yeah, but with being a crock pot,
I just don't like adding extra. I mean, I'm going to stir it to get it all mixed in to cook together. I just don't like doing extra steps if I don't have to.
yeah, and I mean, my point mentioning that is that with a crock pot, it's just gonna sit and cook.
Yes, and some crock pot meals you stir, and some you layer and let sit in the layers. It kind of depends on what you're making. You could probably hear my 5-year-old singing his bathroom song in the background. I don't know why he does that. Because he's 5, probably.
It's not the bathroom song from the Dora movie, is it?
No, it's not.
If any of you who have seen the new Dora movie that came out last year or two, it's excellent. So
It's really cute.
it's a good kids movie and adult movie.
It's a good, it's a good family movie for sure.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Yeah,
is
so
that
there.
about it?
That's everything. So I'm gonna let this cool, this meat liquid cool, and then I will. It kind of depends. If it solidifies, then I'll just scoop it out and throw it in the trash. And if it doesn't, then I'll pour it in a can and throw that in the trash. But I'm not gonna send it down my sink. That's a bad idea. That's how you get clogged pipes. Okay, I'm gonna give everything. Let's move this over so you can see it. I'm gonna give everything a good stir. Get it all mixed up. Now, I will pretty much just let this sit all day. I will not likely come and give it a stir, maybe 1 or 2. And there's nothing you have to do to finish this up. This is it. It's gonna cook for 8 hours, and then you'll spoon it into bowls. That's absolutely it. You're ready to serve it. Now, you can serve it on its own. You can make cornbread to go with it. You can serve it with crackers. We will probably serve it with crackers, but cornbread sounds really good now that I said it.
For 15 minutes, that's excellent.
Yeah, so that took, 15 minutes, no time whatsoever. It cooks for 8 hours. And so some nutrition facts. It makes 6 servings, according to the cookbook. That's not true. Unless those servings are giant. It makes like 12 servings. I could legitimately freeze half of this and reheat it whenever we were ready to eat it again. I might really consider doing that too. It makes about 12 servings. So each of those 12 servings would be, I have to do fast math in my head, 145 calories and 2 grams of saturated fat and 13 grams of carbs. This is a very good diabetic friendly meal, especially if you limit your portion. So a 1/12 of this is probably, I would say maybe a cup and a half. And that sounds like nothing, but it's actually very filling. And if you throw on a couple of crackers or a piece of cornbread, that's a full meal. That's definitely a full meal. So I love this. This is something traditional, something my grandmother used to make. My recipe is almost exactly the same as hers is. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, hit that subscribe button on your video screen and In the description of the video, look for the link to my blog where you will find all sorts of cooking tips and meal planning ideas. And you can follow along on my journey to health and see what we do in our homeschool too. I hope you all have a wonderful day.